Welcome to Happy Place Creations and thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to make a set of 4 coasters and the holder to put them in. And we're going to be using a variety of different things today. We're going to be using some trinkets, and we're going to be using some iridescent beads, some crushed glass, some glitter, and some doll hair. Yes, doll hair. So let's begin. Here I am placing the beads on the edge so we would have a decorative edge. And then I'm going to be placing the trinkets in the center. I've already placed the big bow up in the corner. So I am just adding the decorative pieces at this point, as you can see, to follow along. And now we will begin to work on the coaster holder. And this is a little bit more challenging because now I can't see down in the edges where I'm placing the beads, but I give it my best shot. I'm finding that putting the beads on the sides where the little hump is was not that gonna work. So I decided to put it on the ends instead. And now I decided I would just take off that wooden frame while I'm trying to get the beads down in. It seemed to be better so that I could actually see where I'm working. And that was a very good idea, so keep that in mind when you're working with one of these type of molds that has the wood frame to help keep the mold secure while you're pouring in your resin. It helped immensely. Now I'll begin putting the hair in, and I'm using a pencil and wrapping the hair around it just to make it a curl so I can easily get it down into the holder more easily. Now I'm just adding the crushed glass. It's multicolored glass, just to give this a little bit of color. Before I add the backing color, I'm going to add clear first, and then I'm going to add a little bit of mica powder just to color the background, to help the beads and the hair and the accessories to show up better. And now I have mixed up the resin, and I am adding some of the crushed crystal just to give that an extra sparkle to the coasters and the holder. I just thought that would be nice. I have put a picture of the resin that I'm using up on the screen for you to see what type I am using. Now I'm going to begin pouring the clear layer, and I'm going to speed this up a little bit for video's sake, just so you guys can see the whole process of what I'm doing. Here I am now printing out the decals on my Cricut machine. I just thought I would give you a view of how that looks. For those of you who don't have a Cricut machine, you could also just cut these out by hand with scissors, or you could buy stickers and just place those on there. Now it's time to demold our coasters. And I do apologize that I didn't have the footage of when I poured the pink backing. All that is a little bit of mica powder, and I poured it on top of the clear layer, and then I let that cure. And now we're going to demold, and I'm going to let you see through the process. I am going to speed it up just a little bit, but please enjoy this section. I am going to be tidying up the sides by doing a little bit of sanding on the edges and stuff. And you always want to sand at an angle so that you don't scratch your sides, your top, or your bottom. Just a very light sand, just to touch up your edges. And now it's time for us to add our decals. As you can see in the video, I add all the decals to the top, and you have to rub them on really, really good when it comes to a Cricut, depending on the type of vinyl that you use. I will demonstrate some tricks that I have learned, so you want to be sure to watch this section. You may already know some of these tricks, but for some of you that don't know these happen to work for me. So I hope you enjoy this section. And now it's time to dress up our edges. I'm just using my Let's Resin chrome marker in the silver, and I'm just going to go around all 4 of the coasters, and I'm going to do just the side edges of the holder just to dress it up a little bit. And this is just because I'm going to be doing a top coat on the coasters, and I want to seal that in nice and tight so that it doesn't rub off. Now I'm just finishing up with the last coaster of putting on the top coats, but I wanted to show you how I did that. When doing a top coat, you want to make sure that you get all of your edges. You want to make sure you touch up the corners, and you want to watch your resin and make sure it's not pulling away from the edges. Because if it is pulling away from the edges, then you have to add just a little bit more so that it will stay at the edges. because resin is self-leveling, and you want to make sure that you have enough on the coaster so that it will stay where you want it. And now I'll quickly use my lighter, my small torch, to get rid of the bubbles. And here they are, all done. I think those came out very pretty, considering I had a lot of obstacles with these ones. I very much enjoyed making this set. Although my beads I put around the edges really didn't show up, because I think that they were where they were too clear, and but you can see the strings. And on the end of my coasters, as you can see there, they did drop, they floated. But you can see the beads, but they're not as vibrant as I wanted them to be. And but the hair came out fantastic. I very much enjoyed making this set. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video.